Do you remember when we used to be afraid of the monsters beneath our beds? When we used to stay up late reading books because our parents worked too late to put us to bed, but we'd be damned and grounded if we stayed up late enough for them to come home? Do you remember when the belt stopped stinging? Or when you'd cry for dad when mom was angry with you, and for mom when dad was angry with you, but not make a sound when they were angry at each other? Do you remember when the cops who came to the house after the neighbors called 911 let you sit in the front of their cruiser, thinking it was cool? Thinking that police officers were the white knights dressed in uniforms of robes, wearing masks and badges because they're more afraid of being identified than they are of abandoning their hateful ideology? Do you remember how you believed your dad was a dragon? That your mother was a damsel held captive in a loveless marriage her culture forced her into before she finished high school? How you devoured everything in sight because you couldn't get angry, scream, or breathe fire if your mouth was always full with food? How you were more scared of becoming the same dragon your father was, so you became a dinosaur instead? Because dinosaurs don't breathe fire, they just eat. They're still scary, but scarier looking than anything. Dragons are majestic, flying free atop the world like birds. You couldn't fly away. You became a dinosaur instead. They will find your bones everywhere. Your remains will be scattered across the planet like subterranean ash from the mental illness asteroid that crushed you, or the lava of trauma that consumed you. They'll actually study and read about you for the rest of time, the origins of life on the planet. The remains of our predecessors wiped out by the same extinction level event we are doomed to replicate in our lifetime. And then you won't exist. No one will. But until that happens, they'll actually remember who you are and what you did in life. They may not experience you now, but they will, even if you still think you're a monster, because you're not. You are not the white knights that slew dragons in the stories of medieval times, and you're certainly not the dragon or the dinosaur either. You are the wizard. You locked yourself away in the tower while the knights slew dragons and studied magic and alchemy, writing and speaking, controlling the elements and creating panaceas, a sorcerer that casts spells, transforming trauma into uprising, making fists levitate, and navigating spaces no longer being invisible. Your flame is not to destroy, but to forge, an astrologer beyond the stars, scribing the night sky with comets and wrapping rings as arms around the planets of your solar support system. You are not the monster, nor its victim, but hold the wisdom to carry yourself forward without repeating history. You are both the dream and the reality, the history and the truth, the legend and the future, and I promise you are already better. You just don't know it yet. The dinosaurs didn't survive. You will. Thank you.